Hello, this is Pixel Freak, and I've got part 44 of the Final Fantasy Dimensions walkthrough. This is the town of Gardenia, which is the first town of this section of Noct. In the last piece, we covered the desert, which is what this particular piece of the story opened up with. I'm going to kind of go through the items here, explore a little bit, and there'll be a little bit of story, and then we're going to head out to the next dungeon in the next piece. There's actually a couple cool items that happen in this town. This is actually a kind of unique town, which is a good change of pace, because a lot of the towns before this, they kind of are a lot the same. Not a lot going on. You have items or no items, you know. Sometimes there's new equipment, sometimes there isn't new equipment. This one actually has a little bit of extra story too. If you listen to the commentary in the last video, I talk about how this game doesn't have a lot of dialogue that kind of talks about the world. Most of the dialogue pertains to exactly what's going on in your world. This town actually has something going on, and that's this casino, which is a cool series of mini games that you can play. They are a little hokey, I would say. Nonetheless, I did get lost in them for a little while when I was at this point in the game. So there's like this high-low game that's kind of fun and addicting, I should say. And there's a slot machine. I'm gonna play with the slot machine. I don't have enough coins. So you have to buy coins from the ladies up in the center to the left of where I am right now. Same thing here. Don't have any coins. But you can exchange money for coins. Unfortunately, you can't exchange coins for money. It doesn't go the opposite direction. So if you'd like to, you can buy all the coins you'd like, and there are prizes here at the prize counter here. The lady in the green hair. You can see what she has. Ooh, stuff. Anyways, if you have the coins, you can buy whatever you want to. So if you don't feel like playing the games that are in the casino, you could just go out and grind up a whole bunch of money. That'd be really good for your levels and your jobs, but it probably wouldn't be really good for your time, because it's actually more efficient to just play these games, earn your money, your coins the right way, and then buy the items that you want that way. Now, these games do have an option to spend more or less coins. High-low, I know you can make a 1 coin wager or start out with a 5 coin wager. And the way high-low works, well, I guess I'll get to that when we get there. Those things unlock later in the game. So here with slots, I won! Hooray! I got a coin. Give it another go. And from what I can tell, the slot machine, it's just random. There's no way to time it. I know Setzer in the Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy III game. Anyways, he had a slot mechanism for like his limit break move that he did, and that could be timed to a point. Because I remember pausing the game and kind of exploiting that piece of the game. This, I'm not sure if it can be timed. I don't think so, not from what I played. I played this for a little while, and I kind of got bored with it because I didn't win that often, and I found high-low to be a much easier way to get coins. In playing slots, I found my money just kind of slowly was dwindling away, as you can kind of watch and see. Ooh, treasure boxes. So I think at this point, I'm ahead. No, this is where I would think to walk away. All right, I'm ahead, I'm out. And that's me in real life. So that's slots for you. You have the 1 coin machines, and then I think there's 5 coin machines as well, but the 5 coin machines you're not allowed to use yet. You have to go farther in the game or unlock something in order to use those. So this is high-low. High-low is a very simple game. You have 1 to 13 are your cards, and you have to guess if it's higher or lower. If you get a draw, like I just did, that's kind of cool, you draw again, and then obviously it's going to be high. Oh, it's not obvious. I suck at life. But when you try to do 5, it says go the hell away, try again. Anyways, this is a much easier game because really, the odds are not necessarily in your favor, but they're much better. You're good at, like that. I know I'm going to be high there. Basically, the rules are, if you draw up to a 6, you want to say high. If you draw a 7, it's up to you. Anything over a 7, you probably want to go low. Because of probability. Pretty simple math. But yeah, you just play by those rules and you can go. The way the game works is every time you win, they give you an opportunity to double down. So they double the pot. So from 1 you go to 2, and then if you win again, you can go to 4. You win again, you go to 8, and it keeps doubling. I did eventually get a pot to go to something like 256 or something like that. And then at that point in time, I think I won, and then I called it quits because I needed that many coins. And you'll see that piece, I think, in the next video, where you actually have to play this game to achieve your goal. There's a little mini quest you have to do in the next video. I think it's the next video, it might be the one after. But anyways, you can see the game's actually kind of simple. This one is the one that I kind of got addicted to for 45 minutes or so. I sat and just played it. And it looks stupid, but I think I just get caught up in the idea that I can double down, and it's like playing chicken, you know? I had a couple pots go up to like 128, and then I'd lose them. The one I finally won, I built up to 128, and I was like, oh man, that's half of what I need to finish this quest. And I go, which one should I do? And I was just talking to my wife, and she goes, and then she just like hits the button, and I'm like, oh, you SOB. And then it pulled out, I think, an 8, and I was like, what the hell, an 8, that sucks. And she's like, yeah, it's gonna be high, and she just hits high, and I won. So she was lucky, and I'm still married. I didn't have to divorce her or anything, and that's good. And then I was able to finish the quest too. Had I lost that, I would have been upset, because that got me really close to my goal, what I needed. So anyways, that's the casino. Those are the 2 games that are in there that I saw. I like that this is like, Gardenia is a lawless land. They're totally made at Vegas. It was like if you go to Vegas and it's like, oh man, Vegas, awesome, what do they have? They have 2 games, slots and Go Fish. This is like the lamest Vegas ever. Let's go see a show, what do they have? A dancer. They've got 1 dancer and Go Fish. I love this kid talking about the slums. Yeah, you can't really talk about the slums in a town that's like 5 houses big. What's the slums? The slums is your house, kid. Everybody else's house is not the slums. Your house is the slums. You are the crime. I always thought it was really funny about Final Fantasy Worlds, because you end up getting an airship and you can travel the circumference of the planet in 30 seconds. It's like, that's either a really, really fast plane, airship, or you have a really small world, which it would have to be very dense then for gravity. And then I realized that my brain is doing the same thing that it does to Wile E. Coyote cartoons, which just annoyed the hell out of me as a kid. So I try not to think about the planets that Final Fantasies have, because you can travel around them way too quickly. So a familiar character there, that's the Black Mage. That was just in the Soul piece that we just had when they were in that underground base layer place. So unfortunately, in this town, like every other town, the way to progress the story is to go to the tavern, which I'm at now, and they're kind of telling the story of where I'm supposed to go next and what's going on. So Metoya, interesting if you've been keeping up with this, you'd know I've been kind of pointing out some of the characters that are from old Final Fantasies. Now, there are characters like Cid that show up in every single Final Fantasy, but this game's gone out of its way to point out old characters from games like Dr. Luge, which was in the last Soul piece. He was actually kind of a bad guy. Metoya is actually the witch. It's Metoya the witch from Final Fantasy 1. She is in a little cave between the first town, Corneria. I think it's Corneria. Wait, was that the name of the town in Star Fox? Did those two towns have the same name? Is Corneria the name of the first town in Final Fantasy and the name of the first planet in Star Fox? That'd be awesome. So just so you guys all understand, that was the worst dance scene ever. But this Metoya was named after the witch in the cave in Final Fantasy 1 at the very beginning of the game. She's blind and has an orb, and she has a lot of brooms that say backwards, press B select, which is a code when you get into your pirate ship in Final Fantasy 1. You hit it 50 times straight, and then you can do this really cool little number matching game in there. Nothing that cool happens here. In fact, all you get is a super lame dance. And when I saw this, I was actually upset because there were all these different dances in Final Fantasy IV, which is the US 2. Always got to have that disclaimer in. Every single town you went into, there was a dancer somewhere. There was one that was like a tranny, and there was one that was like a pig, a frog, and a little man. But they all did these different dances, and they were all relatively impressive, I guess, for 1992, when the game came out in the United States, which is around 92. No one nitpicked that fact. It was on or around that date. Might have been 91. That was kind of impressive to watch all those old dance moves. This, in 2013, 2012, let me correct myself, 2012, this sucked. Nonetheless, I think it was just trying to be reminiscent of that. And I think it accomplished in doing that. So if you haven't figured it out already, this is the dancer section of the game. Or at least I would assume this is the dancer section of the game, because you're seeing a dancer. You got to imagine that the dancer is going to join, and the dancer job is going to be the new one for Nox's team, the Warriors of Darkness. Anyways, that's about it for this piece of the walkthrough. I'll see you on the next piece, where we're heading on to the next dungeon. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, this has been Pixel Freak.